We're privileged to have one of the really hot entrepreneurs of the market. Phoenix Green Capital Corporation provides a comprehensive range of services, including things like investment loans, facilitation of equity investment, stock trading research, derivatives and other structured project investments and loans throughout Asia, Europe and the Americas. This is global reach, gang. We need to pay attention. He's a very important man. He's also got a background in rock and roll, I just found out, mentioned in the Rolling Stone rock and roll, history of rock and roll, as the guy who left rock and roll in England and came to make his fortune in equities in Australia. Believe it or not, it's true. He might talk about it. Now, Cliff's got a strong background in the capital and investment markets. He's kind of a prodigy at what I talked about in the intro, which is how companies and investors need to be well matched, to be on song, getting those four-part harmonies absolutely right for the thing to work properly. He prides himself on being able to match the investor to the investment, very important, bringing both a large institutional investor as well as the high net worth individuals, some of you are here tonight. He has an extensive background in international finance, equity trading, corporate advisory service. He's raised investment capital loan funds in the UAE and throughout Southeast Asia. He's much requested guest vocalist at various trade shows, conferences, conventions and meetings throughout Europe, Asia and Australia. A true internationalist, Cliff spends some time here in Australia when he's not working out of New York or London. Oh, and he's a huge fan of the round ball game of the English variety. Tonight, Cliff will be performing his worldwide hit, Equity Funding for ASX and internationally listed companies. Ladies and gentlemen, go crazy. Cliff Atkinson, Chief Executive Officer, Phoenix Green Capital Corporation.
Well, thank you, Brian. Thank you for that colourful introduction. And I'd just like to thank Tim and the people from ABN for inviting us all along here tonight. I'm sure we've all had a good meal and we've got more drinking to do later. I've never had so many people look straight at me since I was a maths teacher at St George Girls High School, you know. I mean that, St George Girls High School. But anyway, I'm coming here from a different direction to the other presenters in that we do have investment funds available. Starting from the beginning, I'll give the disclaimer. There are no forward-looking statements in there, but whatever I say tonight is hypothetical because we tailor everything to the client, to the company. Each one is different. Phoenix Green, established in 2002. I'd like to say it was something romantic like rising from the ashes of Opus Prime and Tricom. Nothing like that. It was actually the Phoenix Hotel in Wallara where we all met and started the business. We do provide investment and equity loans in the beginning, but we've changed our strategy and we've moved now to investment equity investments. We've now partnered with major investment funds around the world. And I have to say that about a week and a half ago, I just got back from a trip that took in 5 continents in 3.5 weeks, which included 2 days in the Westminster Chelsea Hospital after eating something in Nigeria, but that's another story. We pride ourselves on being a one-stop shop for investment and management. And when I say management, we don't want to take over your company. We don't want board positions. We want to work with you. And we're focused on building wealth in ASX companies. The funds in the United States and European investment funds have invested over $1 billion in listed companies, especially in the UK and in the States over the last 12 months. They have strong management credentials and a strong understanding of the market and needs. And I will go back on what I just said after my 3.5-week tour. Australia really is the favourite of the month. When you're over there, people are talking about Australia, the commodities. How can we get in? What is happening? That dollar of yours is ridiculous. How come we didn't get in earlier? Everybody wants to invest in Australia at the moment. Oh, everyone's an absolute, maybe, let me rephrase that, most people. Oh. We specialise in small to mid-cap company funding. Is that giving me 5 minutes? Or was that another bill? We're not interested if you want to borrow less than invest looking for funds under $5 million, but we will go up to $150 million. We're not snobs about the companies we invest in. We will go with established companies that have got a success rate. We'll go with companies that are looking at a high growth. And yes, we will look at distressed companies. We're not snobs either about market segments. Mining, yes. Biotech, yes. Manufacturing, yes. We will take each company as it comes. And we look for a long-term relationship. And I repeat again, we have no management ambitions, no matter how much we own of you, which will always be less than the ASX and everything. Regulate, we're not in that business. How do we compare it? We take today's statement of private placement. When you go into an underwritten, and it's funny, just as I was having a beer upstairs, somebody came to me and said, Cliff, I've got something for you. He said, there's somebody, they're about to do an issue, private placement, and there is a 17.5% discount to the stock price. I went, oh, well, that figures, usually it's 15, right? But then you add on to that brokerage, you add on to that underwriting fees, and basically you're doing 20% off today's SP, company directors, today's SP, and you will hear me say that a few times. Because how we work is we deliver the funds at the SP when you draw it down at the time. And I will add to that, if there's any company director here who doesn't think his share price is going to improve, he should get out of this room and get a proper job, because that's what most of the investors and shareholders are looking for, right? And here's something, music to the ears of most of you, no cash fees involved. We're not looking for money up front for you to talk to us. How does equity funding work? We make an agreement with the company to purchase stock. A small discount to the SP at the drawdown position. And when I say small, I'm talking about 3 to 7%. Again, tailored individually to the company and what is it. We do this over a period of 2 to 3 years in agreement with the company. Similar to private placement, it is not loans, it is funding for equity. We agree to buy your shares. There is no debt and no off-balance sheet. If you have something going with your bank manager that you have to report back, or your other funders, we are just an equity buyer. You don't have to say, oh no, I've got to go and get another 15 million or whatever. And the other prime example of this is the company decides the timing when it wants the money. It decides it all the time. The company is in control. There are monthly drawdowns, and there are no strings attached to the facility. Mind you, if we see somebody in the Ferrari shop the next day after they get the money, we would be asking a couple of questions as to why can't I get there, right? The discount, as I said, is in the region of 3 to 7%. And again, I keep stressing this, at the time of the drawdown. The company decides the amounts. And then we have another thing where the company can feel some comfort. They can set a floor price for any deals that they do with us. That if they don't want their share price to go below 40 cents, we say, look, the deal cuts out when things are going down. And now a lot of people ask the question, they say, oh, but aren't you the people that squash the price down because you're selling the stock? We say, no, not at all. That's not what we're after. We want to share the blue sky with you. And yes, we will trade the stock. That we make no qualms about that. We will trade the stock. But we guarantee that we will trade no more than 15% of what the market is trading at that time. And so if nothing happens on a day or a week, we don't trade anything. If you do $1 million in a day, that limits us to 150,000 on that thing. So again, no upfront or guaranteed fees. And then another thing, in terms of our fee structure, we will take, in most cases, fees in escrowed stock for 6 months. Because in America, they have had new regulations that escrowed stock is for 6 months only. We are in discussions with ASX as to how that works over here. There are no underwriting fees. There's only one brokerage at 5%, and even the brokerage can come in shares, 50% in shares. And I repeat again, at the time of the drawdown, that will be the price of the thing. And here's another added bonus. If you decide, because of our help, you are now doing so well, making loads and loads of money, and everything is going to, you just tell us to bugger off. No cancellation fees, right? Take an example. As again, remember I said it's hypothetical, because everything is different. With due deference to Tim and the boys, I call this company ABN, right? Because hopefully he will, after what he's done for all of us tonight, he will get listed one day and we'll be able to help him. He has a market cap of $200 million. His current SP is 50 cents. His average daily trading volume for the previous 30 days is, say, $500,000. Again, I stress this is hypothetical. For ABN, over 2 or 3 years, we would be able to put in place a $50 million facility to be drawn down. Starting at the beginning, where he can offer $1.5 million per month on his drawdown at a 2% discount to the SP drawdown. Now, we come to the other thing which everybody says, oh, that doesn't help me. I need some money now. We've never heard that before from company directors, have we? I need the money now. So we have now put in place an arrangement where, in a situation like this, we would ask for a private placement in discussion with the people, as is normal things, for up to $5 million at somewhere around the 5 to 14% discount, again depending on what is going on. Not your 17.5, not with your underwriting of getting up to 24.5, 25. Again, we tailor everything to the company needs. We have alternatives available. That was one alternative. Another one, which is I arrived too late with the slide, is a situation where, yes, we will put some upfront money and we will guarantee to buy 10% of whatever your trading stock is the day before or the week before, I think, as per your request. As per your request. It's subject to the variable amount percentage of trading, 10% of the previous trading. We also have sorry, I'll go back on that one. Well, don't look at that one yet. One of the other slides that didn't come up is we have another facility where, again, it would be about $2 million up front, and we'll guarantee you about $800 to $1 million per month drawdown at the time, at the SP, at the drawdown with the small discount, right? Again, at the company's request. Yes, we have been in the market. We've been a bit quiet down there. We haven't. This is the first time we've come out here and promoted ourselves. A few examples that we've done. And I have to say, every one has been successful out of the 17 we've done already. These are some of the spectacular ones. Company A, we're putting $25.5 million, plus an additional 2.5. Their SP is up 50%. So all you investors out there, in your 10,000 to 100,000, keep an eye on what we do. Right? Company B, the same thing, up 63%. Company C, small, what we would call a small investment, 7.6 million, up 33%. Company D, 8.8, up 25%. And we do have a star performer. And if anybody wishes to talk to me afterwards, I've got the names of these companies, far be it for me to disclose. But the very first one we got involved with was a company whose share price was 0.4 of a cent. They had $180,000 in the bank. They were going out of the door backwards. Luckily, they didn't have to report for a couple of months. The best part of this story is we took all our fees in shares of 0.4 of a cent, and I still got them. Within 2 years, those shares went up to 41 cents, and now hanging around the 31, 32 cents with a NASDAQ listing coming up in the next month or so, hopefully, I think. So that is the kind of things. That led us to a thing, again, which is one of the slides I didn't cover. We have now put together the Australian Equity Investment Fund out of the States, which will look at the micro-cap stocks, where we will be looking at, yes, if the story is good, much more subjective than empirical, because when a share is down at 0.5 of a cent, 0.6 of a cent, it's very difficult to work those numbers. How do you get a discount? You know, how do you do things like that? But we will be looking at having figures between $500,000 and $1 million to invest in those micro-cap companies. We work with the company. This is not a case of we take the shares, we start, we all know how it works, and you do all these discounts. The shares arrive on a Friday morning, bang, Monday morning, there they are back on the market. Who cares? You know, we're making our 10 or 12% for our clients. And no one criticizes that. That's their business. That's what they're in. They're in to make a profit. It's not a problem. We won't be doing that. We will work with you. We'll have an ongoing business relationship with you. Maintain direct contact with you at all times when everything is happening. There is no all of a sudden 5 million shares appear on the market. And we'll help promote the company. I should add at this point that in everything we've done so far over the years, by the end of the period, the 2 or the 3 year period, we still hold 25 to 30% of the stock that we've purchased over the period, because we're looking for blue sky like every investor in this place. We want to be there. We know it will work. The perception being everything, if not everything, most things. There's an overseas company comes in, is willing to back the company for a lot of money. The market sees that as a positive thing. And we are part of that positive thing. This is who we are. Colin, our chairman, Colin Archer, is in China at the moment. He sends his apologies, but he's signing off on a deal for a gas-fueled power station in Nigeria with a Chinese company, and he sends his apologies. Cliff, that's me, the one in the middle, the one with the curly hair. And then there's John Timms. Oh, I'm the one with the hair. That's the business investment manager. And there we are. That's our details. We are here to talk to anybody that is interested in us. And from the broker's point of view, yes, we want to talk to brokers. We don't want to work outside of you. We want to work with you and your corporate advisors to do a deal. That's what we're here for. We're here for deals, and we can do a deal with you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Cliff Atkinson, Chief Executive Officer of Phoenix Green Capital Corporation.